I wrote it directly after I was arrested at the Blockade the Budget protest.
Yeah!
The police don't come off too well in it. So if there's any police here, fuck you. It's called it has a name. It's called NWA, which is no worthy authority. I just need to sip and drink. Alright. There's no applause in this theatre where the fear to gutless vendetta accredited cutthroats, attached to government gun scopes, running this humdrum jungle with one pose, dressed in steel cap, black leather, foot treader shoes, fluorescent vests and repressed blue suits. Then there's whoop whoop, and that's the sound of the police, arresting mobs when faced with people's faces that aim at taking back what's theirs through emancipation. Standing facing, face to face with these faceless, rebooted troop trace remainders of the reanimated matrix. Makeshift magistrates parade as overgrown space kids braced in their delusional toothless roots, where justice just becomes this ludicrous loop-de-loop. Empowered youths endowed with a uniform, now they power tripping on their boots. To the powerless is subjected to the power of this ruthless group. Spooks so spooked by civil nuisance, these gormless goons who orphan truth to a pack mentality can adapt facts because what is actually happening doesn't really matter, see? Their acts won't lack unaccountable savagery, masked by the frequency of the battery, snapping random bits of our anatomy. Punks who won't put a face to their battens or a place to their challenges, like they lack the intelligence to notice the impact and relevance they have in this management, as if it isn't delicate. The system be fucking all night, then turn around and telling us it's celibate. So this tapestry's unraveling, we can see the separated classes catching collateral damage then. Yet all this here isn't manifest fear and it isn't scandalous. It's an attempt to self-actualize, live actual lives with actual matters that matter, man. And amplify the reasons for asking why we supposedly can't disentangle this affluent arrogance. Tempting capitalism's marriage to democratic standards with the burning torch of deserved divorce signified through these certain calls for citywide infernos that in turn will engulf them all. And what's left to burn is where we begin the search, because from those ashes an alternative society is formed. And so will emerge the internal savageness that panics when words are weapons and the battle gets to happen and then the tides will turn. So if Bill English wants his Greek streets and his Greek police, then don't assume that we are gonna be no weak defeat that'll be bullied into a meek retreat, because week by week we will repeat, return till we're no longer free to speak. See, through these speeches my freedom speaks. And I don't want to exist in this fallacy, one that rattles me, where some kid dressed in blue can get to casually tackle me, manhandle slamming me to the pavement while tearing and grabbing me, twisting my arms till I'm no longer sure if they're attached to the cavities, fulfilling some sort of sick power trip sadistic fantasy in its appearance, man, it really angers me. Fuck this goon squad sent to remove us. Screw cops, they are not just doing their jobs. These police know better than dope fiends. See, I'm only violent as I've got to be, and that's not to be saying that I'm sorry. See, fuck your false authority. It's a thing I don't think gives you the right to habitually violate my body, G. And me, no, I'm not gonna wise up. No monetary monastery could convince me to live in a market-based lottery. See, if it's for the right buzz, I love to fight too much. And my pride is designed to keep the spine straight, cuz. And no, these knees won't bend. Like my morals, they control those urges by keeping me focused. Keep my heart beating these feet at these protests. Uprisings, yeah, I hook them up like coke chicks. Banging my head against these relentless fences erected to check us by the system of ownership, where I ain't owning shit. And for some reason, you get to have me picked and frequently frisked. So I'm keen to keep being this resistor resisting the intermittent fictions while bearing witness to the insistence with which the inconsistent symptoms of this systemic resistance to any trace of an essence with a little bit of a difference switches into this syllabic sickness, keeping definitive distance from the tentacles of business. That's why you'll find me clutching my fist tightly around this revolutionary wish list, because I specifically wish it. I don't want to suffer the social sickness, so the spiritual physician is here to fix it and diagnose the symptoms. The bad guys are fronted by these officers and constables, whose intolerable consciences are obviously not in tune with what this is and connecting that to what they do. The consequences that result is how the problem grew, and then the authorities telling me that actually in this instance, well, that particular truth, it is disputable. Not to be rude, but what you think I'm a fool, I study philosophy, dude, so I know if there is a truth, then that shit is indubitable. But apparently no, if you got a blue suit, then you can put truth in a tomb, and instead of using a clue or a kernel of proof, just roll out the standard discreditory tools, transforming this life into less than a who, and I ain't talking Dr. Seuss. Surrounded by pig breath yes men where the purpose is left then your identity is dissected and you exit as unnecessarily meddling fool. Taught to unsettle the rules in irreverent schools, penalized for behaviors that better improve. Doesn't matter what was going on, there's just something to fill in the columns of the debrief that they're heading into. Doesn't matter whose side history was on, they read the letterhead of the rhetoric through. Nor the objective justice of the law, no nothing of that sort. All that matters is that orders were given and they came from above. Above what? Above us. And what's fucked up is apparently that's enough to warrant choking out a bunch of people who you have never once contemplated whether or not the actions taken by your establishment could in fact be wrong. Nope, it's just a norm, just a police force, goon squad who heard they could do this so they got it done. Entering the endeavor is a flood, not a flow. So when these movements jump up from the love below, the vocal social thunder grows and justice becomes sucked into the structural undertow, pushing us as far as one can go. So the one thing I know is that these police are an obscene invention of the elite, and their authority to me is a fucking joke. If they're not your mother, then with them you ain't got to go. And if that's the only thing I get across, then so be it. It's not a loss, which means you can be it if you believe it, then do it as long as it wouldn't make your mother cross.
Woo! Yeah.